Hey, good morning. Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. Oh, see, I got the pen in front of the camera already, and friends all over. It's a good Friday. Welcome. This is Life on Love. I am Charles Hall, and I'm so grateful to be with you. We're late start. I hope you're still with us. If you are, and you know somebody that might have gone off, please tell them to come back. We just got some technical difficulties this morning, as sometimes happens. We've got a producer on the other side of the world. I'm here on the other side of the world. And sometimes things just don't go as planned. But hey, that is life. And that's 2020, isn't it? It's been this. Welcome. It's Life on Love. It is Friday, November 20th. It's the Friday before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's in the season. Are you feeling a season of gratitude, not just a day where we, indulge in the food and all the good stuff and the drink and all the good stuff that comes along with it, but the reason for, which is gratitude, Thanksgiving. And I can tell you that our ministerial staff has recorded a beautiful Thanksgiving service that will be coming out next week. So that'll be airing on Wednesday and Thursday at our 10 o'clock slot. So I definitely encourage you to check that out as well. An experience of Thanksgiving. And today it's Life on Love. As always, teeing it up and hitting it out of the park, getting us into a weekend. I've got some ideas I want to share with you today. As always, if you want to participate in the conversation, we highly encourage it. Questions, comments, insights. What are you grateful for? I've got some specific things I want to talk about that don't necessarily have to do with the experience of Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving, giving thanks, is something that ought to be a lifestyle, not simply something that happens one day a year. We want Thanksgiving to be a way that we live, giving thanks to be a way that we live, move and have our being, as it's been said. So during the next however long we're here, encourage you to weigh in with what you're grateful for. And when we get to what we're going to get to today, share your thoughts and ideas about the topic. So what I'm aware of, particularly as we kind of start to bring this year to a close, is how challenging, not just the year, but this time. We talk about it in terms of a calendar year and things like that, but this period that we're living in. And I was doing a little bit of writing yesterday, and there were three A words that occurred to me that I think a lot of people have been feeling during this time, and that's alone, anxious, and afraid. And as I was writing, I kind of got a chuckle out of myself, if you'll permit me that. That is not the AAA that is here to help you when you break down. How many of us have been experiencing being alone? I get texts from friends, just recently, just this morning. I miss people, is what my friend said. I miss people. Interactions, the juiciness of life that comes out of spending time with those that we love, and those random spontaneous interactions that come from just being out and about and being alive. And anxious, anxiety. I saw something recently that said anxiety is what happens when we're projecting into the future. By the way, if you see a little gremlin running around back there, that's my daughter. She's having school about 10 feet, 15 feet behind me. So you might see some comings and goings of that precious little being. But anxiety, here we are in the midst of this, and there's plenty of challenge that happens now, but anxiety is projecting into the future. States are locking down again. just back in my home state of Washington, where I come from, the governor said, hey, we're going to lock things down again. And all of a sudden, thank you, eager guest. I'm happy I'm here as well. Sorry for the late start. Said, we're locking things down. Everybody goes to the grocery store again. Like, come on, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. Have you been afraid? Which is the third A. Have you been afraid? And what are we afraid of? We're afraid of, losing our health. We're afraid of financial loss. Just these concerns that come up. How do we care for our family? People that are losing their homes, jobs. There's just a lot of feeling out there that isn't empowered, affirmative, positive feeling. It's concern feeling. And so I want to address a little bit of that today. And I want to start with a C word, which is compassion. And that's to understand that folks are going through it. You might be going through it. And if you are going through it, I'm glad you're here. Going through it in an external way and an internal way. External is, what I already talked about, the job, the money, friends, family, the ways that we're being affected externally, which almost always affects our internal walk, our internal movement, our internal challenges emotionally. That's where the anxiety and the fear, sometimes the depression, the isolation comes up out of that. So I want to share a few ideas with you, some other A words that I intend to be helpful for you. And I want to back it up by the words of Ernest Holmes, as I do every week, because he is such an extraordinary way of explaining principle and chatting about it. So let's go along for this ride for the next little bit, and keep your heart open, get a pen out, take some notes if you want to, ask some questions, and let's go. Here we go. And again, please weigh in if you so desire. And if you, just so you know, if you're concerned about anonymity, your name isn't necessarily attached to what you comment. For some people it is, and for sometimes like eager guest or truth seeker. Sometimes it's anonymous. So just want you to feel comfortable weighing in. What are we up to? We're all up to the same thing anyway. We're figuring things out. That's life. No one's got anything figured out. There can certain things from a principle standpoint we can figure out that we want to apply, and that's what I want to get into. But day to day, the things that show up in life, we've got to adjust. We've got to, you all know I'm a sports nut. As a game goes on, you have to make the adjustments in order to win. You have to see what the other team is doing. You have to see how they're playing their game, and the teams constantly adjust to each other. In the game of golf, which I love so much, the wind might pick up. You've got to adjust the shots that you're going to hit. If it gets windy during the round, what if it starts raining? Those aren't ideal conditions. It gets windy, it gets rainy. You hit a bad shot and you got to figure things out. That's life. That is life. None of us have it figured out. We have to keep making adjustments based in principle as we're going about our living and what we're up to. So here we go. So here are my 3 A's that I want to share with you. And there's actually more than 3. You can pick whatever 3 A's you want, but I was just having fun with the idea of AAA and the idea of having a place to go to when you're in breakdown. When you're in breakdown, where do you go? Do you go down the rabbit hole of breakdown, or do you look to something, some ideas, some people that can help lift you, raise you, and praise you, so you can actually see that there's possibility that exists here? Possibility. ability. Time to take a moment to wet the whistle. Here's the first A word: awaken. If we're in a nightmare, what do we want to do? We want to wake up, because then we realize the nightmare isn't real. All of a nightmare, sometimes we think it's Freddy Krueger, or, some horrific scene from a movie, or, we're whatever the thing might be, the thing we're most afraid of. And oftentimes that's how it shows up, but it's not a horror film that looks like a horror film. It's what we're most afraid of, really, in life, which brings the anxiety. We're afraid of losing our job, losing our home, losing a great friendship. All of these things, a health challenge, all of these things. When we're in the midst of challenging times, what we're called to do is wake up, to awaken. And what does awaken mean? Awaken means to awaken to who we really are, what we're really capable of. And as we go through this, I want you to understand that all these A words have to do with each other. They're all intertwined. It's just one big dance. They all have subtle differences of meaning. But what we're called to do is awaken. Who are you really? You're not the drama. You're not the loss. You're not the challenge. You are more than that. You are a divine idea, as it's been said, a divine idea shot forth from heaven, here to demonstrate and make manifest the glory of life. A divine idea shot forth from heaven, here to make manifest and demonstrate the glory of life, what's possible. So we need to awaken. We need to wake up to who we really are. I need to wake up to who I really am, day after day after day. One of the A words, it isn't a primary A word, but it's a through line through this whole thing, is again. 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 This work that we do it over and over and over again. It's not a one-shot time, not a one-shot deal, not a one-time thing, where all of a sudden I'm illuminated. In the human condition, I haven't seen that happen. We continue to be challenged over and over again. That means we must rise up over and over again. Again. There's a movie, Miracle. If I shared this with you before, I'm not sure. Miracle on Ice. Kurt Russell is the coach of the Miracle, the 1980 Olympic gold medal championship team. Significant underdogs go on to win the gold medal. We know the story, but there's a scene from that movie where he's attempting to drill down into the team and discipline them into seeing what's possible for them. That divided they fall, united they conquer. And there's this one scene where they're doing, lines, skating back and forth, basically like a nightmare calisthenics exercise scenario. And he keeps saying, again, do it again, do it again, until finally one of the players realizes, oh, I see what's going on, has an insight into the truth, insight, an awareness into what's really going on, that they're a unified team. And then he calls off, the hockey players. They're throwing up. They're just like, they're pushed to their physical limit. And he keeps saying again, until they get it. We're called to practice over and over again. There she is. Over and over again, we're called to practice. You want me to be quiet? You're telling me to be quiet? I can't be quiet. I'm live doing a show right here. Get in here and say something. You're telling me to be quiet. She's telling me to quiet down so she can do her school. Nope. Again. So let's keep practicing again. So we're first called to awaken. How often? Over and over again. Awaken. When? Again. Then we realize that we have power of our attention. And attention and attraction are two A words that go together. Where is your attention? Are you putting your attention on the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs of the stock market? Are you putting your attention on how many more people are sick? Are you putting your attention on how many other people are having financial challenges? Are you putting your attention on the crazy state of affairs? Where is your attention? Where is your attention? And are you committed today to awakening enough to realize that you have dominion over your attention? That you're not just a dog on a leash. You're not just a puppet on a string. That you are powerful. That you get to choose where your attention flows. So is your attention on solution? Or is your attention on problem? Is your attention on possibility? Or is your attention on all that's wrong? We can assess, there's another A word that just came out of nowhere. We can assess the current state of things and then choose where to place our attention. Assess, choose, where's your attention flowing? The third A word, and again, how often do we have to control where we place our attention? Over and over and over again. Again. But what's the reward in this disciplined life, in this way that we're called to be living, in this in this directed lifestyle? What is the reward? Freedom. Ernest Holmes, when I share Ernest Holmes' words, we're going to get into that too. Freedom. So we're not bound. What do we want to be free of? Those other three A words that I shared. Feeling alone, anxious, and afraid. That is not the AAA that we want to call during a breakdown. That is the breakdown. Awaken. Awaken again. Where's your attention? Choose where your attention's going again. And then take action. Action. We know what we want. Move in that direction. Do something about it. Action. This, you know, I've been in the teachings of Centers for Spiritual Living, Science of Mind for a long time. And people throughout the years have referred to themselves as students of the teaching. Now, being a student is a good thing, but being a student only goes so far. We're not called to be students. We're called to be livers. Not liver and onions, livers. To be alive. Here's another A word for you. To be alive. To live what Ernest Holmes laid out. To live a life based in spiritual principle. To challenge ourselves every day to awaken. To choose where our attention is going. And to take action over and over again. We do it over and over again. So not just to be a student, not just to study it. What does this word mean? What does that principle mean? Application. We apply the principles. It's a marriage between study and living. To live it, to understand how the principle works, then what? Oh, another A word, apply it. Application. Do it. As I've said before, put on the laboratory coat, put on your goggles, and in the laboratory of your own life, apply the principle. There is a lot of seductive influence in the world right now. There's a lot of seduction of what's wrong. Thank you, Maggie Hood. I appreciate you. There's a lot of seduction of the negative. We have to be disciplined in order to awaken, choose where your attention is flowing, and to take action on behalf of the life that you really want. This is not theory. This isn't theoretical. This isn't simply meant to be a course in theory. We're talking about our lives. We're talking about your life, your quality of life, your financial stature, your health stature, the status of your relationships, your creativity, the pillars that we talk about over and over again. It's your life. We need to move it out of theory and into practice, practical application. And that's where the good stuff happens. Because you could sit on your couch and read all day long and study and study and study and never leave the classroom and study and study and never leave the couch or apply it. And I say we all want to apply it to actually have a liberated life. And again, Ernest Holmes is going to share that with us. So awaken, wake up. Let's wake up to what's possible. Wake up and look out the window and see what's out the window to see. The sky, even the moon. Oh my God, the moon here in Coachella Valley. I think there's a couple planets. If anybody knows, there are two planets that were right. We've got a banana moon, crescent moon, but it does look like a banana. And I think there were two planets lined up right next to it. Does anybody know? They didn't seem like stars because they were like, it was this perfect alignment. They were very bright. But look up and see, oh my goodness, that's beauty. And so what do I want to put my attention on? Another A word, appreciating the beauty, because you will find what you're looking for. And I know it's a challenge. I have a tremendous amount of compassion for what's happening. It is a challenge, but I know we're called to live in solution, in appreciation, finding the good, taking action. You have the ability to do this. This does not take talent. It does not take skill. It does take discipline and some training to train ourselves how we want to live, to apply the principles, and to attack the day in the most life-giving, beautiful way. Go get it. Here are the words from Ernest Holmes, and this is actually out of today's excerpt from 365 Science of Mind. I share this with you every week. This is November 20th's excerpt. And the theme of the month in 365 Science of Mind is success. And so, is Thanksgiving. Today's installment is success. From Ernest Holmes, Dr. Ernest Holmes. Success does not mean the accumulation of wealth. the maintenance of position, or a supremacy of power. Success means a life free from the burden of anxiety and liberated from fear. Booyah. Boom shakalaka. Success means a life free from the burden of anxiety and liberated from fear and liberated from being afraid. What's that other statement that I love to share with you? We believe in the complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be the complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. Success means a life free from the burden of anxiety, liberated from fear. There is no successful life without peace or without that inner spiritual certainty that knows that the soul is on the pathway of good, forever expanding into the conscious union of God with humanity, of life with humanity, that we are one. What? That we are that divine idea shot forth, that you and I are that divine idea shot forth from heaven, here to make manifest and demonstrate the glory of life. How do we do that? Through our creative endeavors, through loving our family, through expressing ourselves. Yes, through financial magnificence. Yes, through the health of the body. And I love how he always does this. He does this. He brings it into the personal. And allow these words to be my words and your words as well. Today, I expect every good thing to come to me. Everything that is worthy of the soul, I anticipate. Everything that belongs to the spirit, I accept. Everything that partakes of the nature of divine reality, I claim as my own. Today, I identify myself with abundance and success. I know that my destiny is divine, that my destination is certain, and that the kingdom and queendom of heaven is at hand. I know that this queendom and kingdom contains everything necessary to my well-being, here and now, right now and right here. In gratitude and with joy, I receive this goodness into myself. Only remember, we are surrounded by a universal mind, or what he says is subjectivity, a universal presence that responds to us, that is receptive, neutral, impersonal, always receiving the impress of our thought, and that has no alternative other than to operate directly upon it, thus creating the things that we think. We're called to think, to demonstrate, not just to study, but to live. Do you know that you can demonstrate inside of your life today? That you can demonstrate something, whatever you want. You can demonstrate poverty if you choose to. You can demonstrate challenges if you choose to. And I know there are conditions out there that seem beyond our control, that are beyond our control. But how do we respond to them? When a challenge comes our way, do I start to think solution and possibility, or fear and anxiety? Do I start to think that it's time for me to awaken to a new possibility? that it's time for me to choose where to put my attention, that it's time for me to take definitive and decisive action, and that it's time to do that over and over and over again. Success means a life free from the burden of anxiety and liberated from fear. So you call your AAA today, and I'll call mine. Awaken. Choose where you put your attention. Take action. And do it over and over and over and over again. What is success? A life free from anxiety, liberated from fear. Choose to awaken, where to put your attention, and to take definitive and decisive action today on behalf of your good, on behalf of your blessing. I apologize again for the tardiness. Sometimes technical things happen, but hey, what do? We live in possibility. It's been a powerful time we've shared together. I pray that it's blessed you somehow, and that your Friday, your weekend, and the rest of your life is blessed because of the time that we share. We continue, as always, to be supremely grateful for your financial good and the way that you share it with our center. You can go to our website, cslpalmdesert.org, and share there. You can find all the ways that are possible. Mail, text, website, carrier pigeon, Pony Express. We welcome all of it in this sacred ritual of circulation. Thank you so much for continuing to share your good. And if this message is reaching you somehow and does have a benefit, I invite you to circulate. I invite you to, I challenge you to make it your own, and then realize that giving and receiving is the perfect expression of circulation. And that as we do each one of them, we give, we receive, we give. So thank you to all that have been participating this morning. I appreciate the comments that have come in. I won't see you until after Thanksgiving. So again, make sure that this is a time of, what's that? Another A word? Appreciation. That's what Thanksgiving and gratitude is as well. Where's your appreciation? Where's it flowing? What are you awakening to right now? Where's your attention flowing to? And what action are you taking on behalf of those things? And what do? We do it over and over and over again. Much peace, much love. I invite you to make today best day ever. Big love. We're out of here.